What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode with Double Digit Angler. We have a special guest on today's episode. And speaking of episode, we're on number 11. Man, I'm cooking. I'm on a roll. I've been thinking about actually bringing on more guests per week, maybe 2 guests per week, because right now I'm actually over my allowance. I don't know if you guys know how it works, but with the allowance, you get a subscription through Buzzsprout, and they only allow you for so many hours to post up a podcast. But I've been over each week for at least a couple hours. But I mean, since we're talking about podcasts, go ahead and give me a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I would much appreciate that. So today's guest is DJ the Bassmaster, aka Dashawn, and I'm blanking here already. I'm thinking it's Dashawn Johnson. But if I got that wrong, he's gonna let me know real quick. But let's bring him on right now. Let me see. What up, dude?
What's going on?
Did I get your name wrong?
No.
Okay. I was blanking. I was like, I hope his last name's Johnson.
Yeah, it's
You can
pretty.
tell how much research I actually do for these podcasts.
Oh yeah, freestyling.
So how's your day so far, man? We talked a little bit before the podcast. How's your
It's,
day?
it's pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's been kind of emotional but exciting day at the same time.
Oh yeah? What's going
Yeah.
on, man? You can spill the beans.
All right.
We're all friendly here.
So I work with Cabela's, aka
Mhm.
Bass Pro.
Yeah.
Uh, been there for about 3 years,
Mhm.
and now I'm not gonna be there. Yeah,
Whoa.
tomorrow's my last day.
Dun dun dun.
I
The
know.
drama hits. And guys, this is a surprise to me because he didn't mention this at all for in preparation for this podcast. Go into it. Go
Yeah,
into it.
I've been there for 3 years. I like my
Mhm.
time there. I stayed there probably a little longer than what I wanted
Mhm.
because of it's the people. You get a good group of people, and
Yeah, yeah.
you kind of want to stick around that crowd. So I stayed there a pretty good long time, and um learned a lot. Learned a lot.
Tell me
A
what you learned.
ton. So
Go
going in
into like maybe tell me a story over at Bass Pro
Okay,
or
so going
Cabela's.
going into Cabela's,
Mhm.
I was fishing, but I was your typical angler who could just pond fish. I never fished on a big lake, and I couldn't tell you about contours. I couldn't tell you how fish set up. I knew what time they bed and everything because
Mhm.
that's common. Everybody should know that.
Yeah, if you
But
don't
I
know
didn't
that, get off
yeah.
this podcast. No, just kidding.
But yeah, man, I never really knew everything about fishing. I just knew, Texas rig, spinner bait, common
Yeah.
stuff that
Yep.
anybody could pretty much pick up and throw. And
Mhm.
then working there, you work with so many different people. You got guys coming in that fishes tournaments. You got guys coming in that's
Yeah.
just free fishing, weekend fishermen, stuff like that. So you learn a lot of lingo and stuff that works for them and stuff like that. And then we had a guy that came in. His name was Mike Miranda, and he got me into tournament fishing with a club off of the bass boat, and I was fishing as a back boater.
Yeah.
And just that experience, you learn a lot of. I learned how to use certain baits like drop shot. You can easily pick up a drop shot, and if you keep
Mhm.
that in your hand the whole time, you're gonna get hit. It was a
Yeah.
no brainer. So I
Yeah.
learned that through them. Learned some other lures, some other top water stuff.
Tell me about a story, you know. Do you have any bad stories about customers coming in
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
like like they chatterbox or
No, rude. Rude.
rude?
Okay,
Tell
so
me about
first
that.
first time working there. No, it wasn't the first time. First week or either the second week.
Mhm.
I think it was prime time fishing season. It's like April. So fish
Yeah.
are still on the bed. You got guys coming in and they're looking for, I can't remember what lure it was. No, he was looking for um it was the lures that you peg your Texas rig with. Now, not
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
lures,
Yeah.
but
The bobber
the bobber
stopper.
stoppers, bobber
Yeah.
stoppers, yeah.
Yep.
So he was looking for that. I had no clue because like I said, I'm new to it. So I
Yeah.
had no clue what that was.
Yeah.
And I kind of let it slip out that I didn't know what I was talking about. And the guy instantly fired me up and was like, "You shouldn't be working at Cabela's in the fishing department if you don't know anything." And then
Wow.
instantly put me on blast.
Wow.
Yeah. Now looking 3
Man,
years
people gotta
later,
work, dude. People
yeah,
gotta work.
I know.
You know what I mean? I
Got
mean,
put on blast.
I appreciate guys that work at Cabela's. I appreciate people that work at Starbucks because like everybody has to work, get that money, and they have to grind. And those retail positions, man, that's one of the toughest positions out there, you know?
Hey, at least I didn't fill him with lies because I could have easily lied. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of
I mean,
people at
you didn't
Cabela's
lie,
that don't,
right?
yeah, a lot of people at Bass Pro and Cabela's who really don't know nothing will sit there and beat around the bush
Yep.
and get caught up with stuff that they don't know
Yeah, when you could just go to someone that does know and just be like, "Hey, could you help this customer out? Like
easily.
he's looking for this." Instead of like, "Hey, let me send you dial to aisle 10. I think they have the bobber poppers you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and
Bobber
then go,
poppers, right?"
yeah, and then go and then go run in the break room so they can't find you anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I've seen
Um
it happen a lot.
Damn rude customers,
Yeah,
man.
bro.
And you're just trying to put them on a bite if you know where the bite is. And I had it the opposite way. Like, do you have any people that do work with you that are kind of like their ego is like way up there?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Then you
So
guys have a good crew over there.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I never met anybody who was like act like they're on top of the world. No, I can't say that. We
Yeah.
got a pretty good group of people at Cabela's. That's what makes it so hard to leave right now because it's like, it's just that right there, and I basically made a lot of good friends through Cabela's, so it's like
Yeah.
it's pretty hard. Yeah.
And I got nothing against Bass Pro products. I think they copy several,
Oh, of course.
but some of them like absolutely work 100%. Like one of the lures you guys have, I don't know what it's called, but I put it on the back of my chatterbait. It's almost like it has the body of a fluke, but then the tail is kind of like it's ribbed and it has that Zako tail.
You know what? I just picked up a pack of those the other day.
They're from Bass Pro Shop, right?
They look just
Yeah.
like the Zakos almost, but it's
Yeah.
a smooth body.
It's a smooth body, right?
Yeah.
And then it doesn't have, I don't know if it
It
has
has
maybe,
sections. Yeah, it has
yep,
sections
in the
on
very
the back
very
end.
back.
Yeah, on the very
But
back.
the whole body is it's still, it's not ribbed like the Zako.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. That trailer, man, that was
It
game changer for
works.
me.
It
Yeah.
works.
That's why I was saying, like, Bass Pro Shop, I have zero negative things to say in terms of if their baits get bit or not. Like, they
Yeah.
get bit. What are these guys asking here? If he fishes, should know where the bobber stoppers are at Bass Pro Shop. Look at this guy. He said, Maxley's, if he fishes, he should know where the bobber stoppers are at. But here's your rude customer right here.
That would definitely be the one right there.
uh, I'll get into one more question here. Jake says, "Is it a swim bait style that what
Um,
we're talking about?"
it's
No,
not really.
I mean we wouldn't be fishing it by itself. I don't think.
You know what you could do? Well, not really.
You can put on a spinner bait, put it on a chatter bait, put it as a
Yeah.
trailer bait. But if they're gonna go do that, you might as well put like a paddle tail swim bait, like a Kitech or the Bass Pro Shop. plastic swim bait.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex on the water says, "Look at these two hammers."
I just
All
see
right,
one
guys.
hammer.
No, dude, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. Trust me. But tell me how you got started with the whole kayak fishing or fishing in general, dude. Tell me how you got started.
Grandfather. Grandfather got me fishing long time ago. I think the first time I went fishing was at the trout farm because you got no choice but to catch anything.
Yeah.
And then he finally took me bass fishing. And back then, when I went bass fishing at 6, I would always have at least a good sized largemouth on and never set the hook. I just reeled it in, and I would lose them
Oh,
at the bank every time because I never knew what set the
really?
hook was.
You know what's crazy about that is like I went from bass fishing to back to trout fishing for a little bit because the trout was just stock, but
Yeah,
I would set the hook on the trout like I would set the hook on a bass, and that's a big no-no.
yeah, especially with the light line that you use.
The light line, but then they have very delicate mouths, so when you rip that hook, like that
Yeah.
hook just flies through that soft tissue. But so you started with your grandpa. Is there anything like specific stories with your
Uh,
grandpa that you treasure the most?
I treasure. So we were like dynamic bank fishermen. like
Okay,
like we were probably. I felt like we were really really good on the bank.
that's
But
dope.
dude, we would walk like four. So my grandfather was in the military, retired veteran, in the army.
Zach Taylor.
So we would walk 4 miles through the woods to get to a spot
Wow.
back in a creek or river system every time. And
So he wasn't just some average
oh
dad or grandpa out there that takes you to the dock right at
no,
the launch ramp and
no,
cast
never.
out.
He wouldn't go to like major lakes and fish on the pier where everybody else fish at. He wouldn't do none of that. He would
Mhm,
go above and beyond to places where he knows he's gonna get hit. He would go to the dams where he can fish right near the dams for striper. He
mhm.
would go back in the rivers, way back where he know guys ain't gonna walk back there, and he
Yeah,
would fish for largemouth or spots, and he would do it
yeah,
like that every time. And we always got hit.
yeah. Nice, dude. Did he ever get upset at you because you
No,
snagged too much?
nah. He
No?
would his favorite thing to say was, if you tangle it up or you lose that worm, that's the end of your day.
Oh, okay.
So
Alright.
I had a lot of short days out there. I had a lot of short days.
So he just cut you off. He was like,
Oh
"You
yeah,
tangled up. That's it. You're
yeah.
done."
Short days, lot of short days.
Damn. But that I feel like when you're tangling and you're getting caught up, that's a good thing.
Well,
For bass
my
fishing.
my tangling was different because when you lose memory on a spinning reel with monofilament,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
that's
Oh, that type of tangle.
yeah, that's the end of the day. So it'd
You're
be
talking
like,
about at the real tangle.
yeah. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
throwing the line out and it literally bird's nest on me, and I'm just like, he's sitting there like, well, that's the end of your day, and I'm just like, dude, I didn't even do anything. Like it's
You
just
should tell him stop fishing ugly sticks and ugly stick reels.
hey, that's exactly what we were using. That's exactly what we were using.
Should have been like, Grandpa, you should have gone
Well,
Shimano.
actually, no, 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 no. I take that back. We used the ugly stick rods, but we never used their reels. We did use some Shimano because I got some of the old Sedonas downstairs.
Oh, that he gave to you?
Yeah, I still so we used
Really?
he only used Sedonas and Mitchells back then.
So it was all on you then.
Yeah. Well,
Damn, dude.
I don't know if it
Try to
was on me.
try to post it on your grandpa. That's
I
not good.
Hey, when the line backlashes, the line still to this day, if you use monofilament on a spinning reel, it's eventually gonna mess up.
Oh, that's true,
Because
especially if you're using really light line or thick
yeah,
line that
because we didn't
has
change
memory.
it like you're supposed to change it like every 2 months, 3 months, maybe every month, if that.
Yeah,
We
and if
didn't, we
you're
didn't,
sponsored.
we didn't change it like that at all.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's like my dad, cat fisherman. We never changed that line.
Oh yeah, I still got braided line on from like 10 years ago on one of my
Oh,
saltwater rods.
yeah. I never change my braid. Very rarely.
Yeah, it's super rare.
Yeah. So you got started with your grandpa,
Hmm.
and he introduced you into bass fishing, right?
Yeah.
So you were gonna ask me a question before the podcast. Go ahead and ask it for our guests.
All right. So I was wondering, pretty much, how long have you been doing this, the kayak fishing, and where did it start from?
All right, so I'm gonna switch it on you. How long have you been doing it? Kayak
Only
fishing,
kayak fishing 3 years max.
bass fishing. How long?
Bass fishing since 6 years old. So
Oh, so you've been doing bass fishing a while.
yeah, but learning
Wow.
like different tactics, actually learning how pre-spawn, post-spawn, all this bed fishing, and learning where they stage and all this stuff,
Hmm.
and fishing offshore and all this terminology. 3 years max.
So
To,
you
to
got
true to true fishing, like going out to be able to go to
mhm,
any other lake and figure it out and break them down. 3 years.
yeah, 3 years. Okay. So, but 6 years old, you've caught bass
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much. Damn. Okay, that's pretty good amount though, man. Like you learned so. I did you take a break in between that time, like since you were
Oh yeah.
6 years old, and then till that 3 year mark where you were like 3 years in deep into fishing? You
I
took that break.
I took a big break between a little bit of middle school and high school because sports got in the way. So like when I hit high
Sports and
school,
women, right?
whew, yeah, yeah, that's the best way to put it. Because when I hit high school, I didn't fish anymore through high school at all. I probably went
Yeah.
fishing probably like 5 times.
Wow. Throughout high school.
Yeah, and then plus I couldn't really drive. My grandfather started getting lazy, so that
If you don't
happened.
mind me asking, how old are you now?
24.
Oh, dude, you're still in your prime. Is there a Missy in your life?
Yeah.
There. Oh, you have
Yeah.
a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Um, damn. So yeah, but the high school time, you were still single, you know, dating around,
Yeah.
messing around. How long have you been with your girlfriend for?
Not long. That's the worst thing you can ask a guy because we're never gonna remember that. But it's probably been like a solid month, if I had to say.
Oh, a month. Oh,
Yeah,
congratulations,
a
dude.
solid month and a couple days.
Congratulations. How long did it take you to kiss her since the first date?
Oh, dude, that was like first day.
That was first date.
Like almost like first day we started talking.
Damn, dude, we're not even talking about fishing anymore. This is all about pimp life. Let's go. Who said that? Clay Ragsdale commented, "Let's go. Veterans Kayak Fishing USA in the house."
Yes, sir. Mr.
Yeah, I
Ragsdale.
don't know, man. This is not about kayak fishing anymore, man.
All
This
my
is
guys
about
from Team Westbrook. Shouts
okay.
out.
Nice, nice. Westbrook, what is that exactly? Team
So
Westbrook. That's yeah, tell me about that.
so Westbrook Supply Co. They're a company down in uh I want to say it's close to Atlanta, but
Okay.
they what they do is they outrig most kayaks. A lot of kayaks.
Oh, nice.
Actually, a lot of the kayak
Mhm.
community in Georgia, a lot of the guys go down to Westbrook and get their kayaks done. They put the graphs on, the Torpedo. They do a lot of stuff. They
Dang.
did my Panoptics for me on my Mega Live. So
Yeah, let's get that straight. You have Mega Live, not
yeah.
Pan Optics Live Scope.
I want to switch over so bad, but I just don't know if I really want to do it.
I feel like you dodged. You're just dodging that whole entire, pimp years from high school and on, man. So was that why you took that break? Is because of partying life or not partying, or were you a super party guy?
Nah, I can count in my hands like through my whole lifetime. I probably only went to like 3 parties. I'm not a party
What were
guy.
you more passionate about during high school?
Basketball, and basically hanging out with friends. Me and my friends, we didn't do nothing crazy. We were like kids that go outside 24/7, or in the
Mhm.
summertime we would go to like different parks and just play basketball. That's all we did.
Oh, that's cool, man. Basketball.
Yeah, that was all through high school. I took that serious, and
Yeah.
then when college level hit
Yeah.
and I started looking at like different
Women?
schools,
I'm just kidding.
nah.
No,
It
no,
was
different schools. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, it was different schools and looking at players that they had on the team. Dude, I'm only
Yeah.
5'6". I can't.
Oh, wow, dude.
So I went back to fishing when I came out of high school, and I was just like, I'm gonna do this every day.
Mhm.
But I wasn't doing it every day. I was still going to play basketball at parks. I was fishing more. So it
Yeah.
was like every other weekend I would go fishing.
Okay.
And then
You
I
said
started working
baseball
at
too?
Cabela. Nah, I
You
didn't
s
do baseball.
you said basketball and what other sport you
It
do?
was basketball.
Just
And then I watched
Okay.
a lot of sports like football and stuff like that, college football.
Oh, okay, college football. Damn, 5'6", man. That's
I
like
know.
Nate Robinson, right?
Short.
Nate Robinson and, was there a recent player that was that size that was pretty good?
Isaiah Thomas. He was pretty close.
Isaiah, yeah. Wasn't
But
he
I tell you,
5'6" or 5'7"?
I think he's like 5'8", 5'9".
Five
He's
eight, 5'9"?
close.
Okay.
But the only thing about being short in a kayak is I could do way more than a lot of the guys can.
Like what? Tell me.
Oh, move around. Just
Oh, okay.
just like like some guys they can't really move that much. Like let's say okay,
Yeah.
you got spots out there where you at, right?
Yeah.
Okay, from catching a largemouth and catching a spot, when you get one of them in, it's a total different reaction from both fish. A largemouth will sit on the board and chill. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really have too many of them flop off. But
Mhm.
a spot from the moment you net him and get him in the kayak, it's a whole nother fight.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. From me, I've had spots where I got them in, netted them, got them on the board. Well, getting ready to put them on the board, prepping to put them on the board, and they
Yeah.
still got the hook in their mouths, and they flop out the net and start the whole fight all over again.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I had that problem during the past TOC. I had a smallmouth, and they're kind of similar too, right?
Yeah.
But
Never.
probably not as much as a spot, like you said. But I mean, that costed me $5,000 Hobie PA-14. You know, that was like a 12.5 incher. So yeah, dude, I know how you feel. It's like when you have your left hand, right? Because the mouth is facing the I don't know what the terminology is. The catch board, the fence.
Yeah.
So the mouth is holding the fence and you press down, but you can't cover the eye. You can't have a finger in the gill. So it's like slightly on the gill plate, but sometimes you wanna move it closer to the body because you don't want to get that penalty, right?
Yeah.
And then that allows him because a lot of their muscles are like right next to their little arm fin, right?
Yeah.
I need to know better parts of the anatomy of this bass that we're catching. But yeah, right. So you pressing against him with your left hand, and it gives him that little muscle to work where that head shake muscle.
Yeah.
So they head shake and then they go between your hand and the fence and then they flip out because they're so slimy, right? So I know exactly what you're talking about, man.
Yeah. It
It's
sucks.
upsetting. Yeah, I don't even know how we got to that topic. How did we get to that topic
I have
about
no.
because you're more younger, you're more nimble
Yeah.
usually, right?
Shorter.
Shorter. You're shorter, and you say that plays a better role in for you in kayak fishing because are you just more agile?
Well, I'm able to like so my kayak is like 12 foot and a couple inches.
Yeah.
So I'm able to like turn a certain way on the kayak where I have the catch board laid completely on the deck.
Oh,
You
I
see what I'm
see. So
you see what I'm
you're
saying?
yeah, so you have the catch board parallel with the kayak.
Yeah. So if he flips, he won't really go straight out the kayak.
He'll go right onto the seat.
Yeah.
I
And
got
then
you.
it's up to me to catch him at that
That's
point.
smart as heck, dude. I don't yeah, exactly. I think you're right about that. I think I got 3 inches on you. Do you think I could do that? I don't know if I could do that.
I think you probably could.
Maybe I'll start doing that, man.
But it's difficult because you just don't want to put so much weight on one side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's gonna be tough. It is difficult. Being a shorter guy, I think that is an advantage too, especially if you're handling these long spots that you need to submit.
Yeah.
I mean, that could cost you, angler of the year. It costs you many things in this kayak world. Like
Yeah.
half the battle, like you said, in spotted bass fishing and smallmouth is taking the damn photo.
Yeah. You can get them in
Yeah.
easily.
So now, as a kayak angler, you got to worry about not just catching the fish and getting bit, but actually submitting a fish and taking a photo of a fish.
Dude, that is the number one concern when I go fishing every time during the tournament. And if I know that it's a spotted bass fishery,
Mhm.
the only thing I can think of, I'm like, I know I'm gonna catch them because they're
Yeah.
aggressive, and all you gotta do is find them, and they'll
Yeah.
eat. So I know I'm gonna catch them. That's not even a problem. It's the
Mhm.
problem when I know I gotta put them on the board, and
Damn, I'm scared.
that's the problem with that one right there.
I'm scared of DJ the Bass Master, man. The way he's talking, he's like, "I'm gonna catch him. I'm gonna catch him." It's just all about submitting the fish. That's the skill that you have to have. And I'm
Dude,
just like, I'm like sweating in my kayak. I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I'm gonna catch him.
dude, I'm sure if you came out here, you could do the same thing. Now, I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
When I go to a largemouth fishery, that's the one where I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna get on them today. We'll try.
Yeah, you get like 20 degrees, wind chills. It's cold. Your fingers are frozen to death. You can't even feel anything. Every time you move, that wind chill's like, oh.
Yeah,
And the bass are spread out everywhere. Like you're catching bass so far away from each other in distance that you just don't know what to do. I know exactly what you mean about them damn largemouth, man.
yeah, man. It's rough.
Difficult fish to catch, man.
So I got one more
Um.
question for you.
Oh wait, I even answered your question. I dodged you, but
Yeah,
yeah,
you
go.
did.
Let's go with that question. This question because you're already curious about the question you're just about to ask.
All right.
Yeah.
Forward facing sonar. Do you think it ruined fishing?
Do I think forward facing sonar ruined the fishing? Well, let me see. I I think it just I don't have really a affirmative answer on that, but I don't think it did ruin it. I think if anything, it opened the doors more for um, electronic advancements,
Yeah.
and I don't think it ruined it at all. Actually, I argue that it helped us. It helped us with learning bass behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you listened to the podcast with Matthew Brannon, but he told me when the sun went down, his fish from like 15, 20, 30 feet went all the way up shallow into like 2 feet of water. And he saw it happen going from sun up to sundown. He saw those fish just move. He just panned his live scope transducer toward and he followed them fish and he noticed all of his spotted bass moved up shallow at nighttime.
That's
And he's a
crazy.
big nighttime fisherman. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
and what I learned, I mean, I bet everybody's seen where I was fishing, but what I learned is three to probably 10-pound bass all school up together, and you can catch a 7-pounder and a school of 3-pounders, and they roam around and like they could around in a pack of 30 to 40 fish.
Yeah.
and one of those fish could be a 7-pounder. I caught a 23.75 inch in a school of like 17 to 18-inch bass, and I was
Yeah.
chasing them down all day, and I don't think it ruined the sport, because when I'm out there searching for open water bass and I'm aiming for, because I tell you what, not all fish school up together like that throughout the whole entire year. Now, if
Right.
that were the case, I would think forward facing sonar ruined the whole entire deal, because if every day was like, oh, I'm going to chase schooling bass from 3 to 8 pounders and they school up all the time like that, then I'd say it ruined the game for fishing, right? For everybody that has their traditional techniques like fishing a jig and etc. But they don't. Reality is they don't school up all year. And majority of the time, if I'm using live scope when they're not schooling up, I'm
Hmm.
focusing on like one or two fish.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just focusing on one. And when I'm like making multiple casts and focusing on it, aiming my transducer towards that one fish, there's someone on the lake that's throwing a Kitech or a jerk bait that's on a long cast that'll cover more water and probably will go over the heads of so many more fish than I have ever focusing on that one fish with live scope. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
there's I can tell you what, there's John DeMonet and Brian Lepke from SoCal Kayak Anglers and some pro tournaments in the kayak business, and I see them run bank, and they are just covering probably 10 to 20 more times in distance than I am covering.
Right.
And you can only imagine how many fish that they crossed over in their path versus how many fish I crossed over using forward facing live scope. They're probably looking at hundreds of fish that probably didn't want to eat their bait versus I'm looking at maybe, I don't know, 30 fish,
Right.
50 that I'm looking at on my live scope, and not all of them bite, but they're covering the whole entire lake while I'm focusing on, single fish here and there. And sometimes it's a school, and that could get interesting, but that's part of the year, not the whole entire year.
Yeah.
So my answer to that, I don't think it does ruin the sport. I think it actually helps bank fishermen while they're catching, like, let's say if they get on a nice rip bait bite or they get on some sort of jig bite and or a flipping bite. Dude, I can't live scope a punch bite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't think it ruined it. Hell, I mean, most of the time you go out and you see a fish on live, and a good majority you can't make them bite. A great
Yeah.
majority you can't make them bite.
Yeah, and then your type of water. So tell me a little bit about where you live and the type of water that you fish. Are they shallow? Are they deep? Do they have a little bit of versatility? What's the water visibility on average over there? Tell me a little bit about the lakes over there.
So they're mostly a lot of them are deep. A lot of them are. Um,
Like you're talking
I
about 100, 200
oh
feet?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Really? You got
yeah.
access to that water?
Yeah. Easily access to that water. We got a lake out here that's southeast of the Mississippi. It's the deepest lake. It's actually the
Mhm,
deepest lake southeast of the Mississippi. It's called Carter's.
mhm.
That lake is 600 feet deep. It's close to 600. It's like 500 or something feet deep. It's
Oh, wow.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But the standing timber sits in like 80 feet right underneath the surface, and you can barely see it sometimes.
Wow, so you can hit. Your kayak will
Oh,
hit.
I've been hung on standing timber before out there,
Oh, man. How do you
and it
get out of that stuff?
sucks. Well, in summertime, it's not that bad. You can easily, it's already hot. You can jump out the kayak and push it off.
Yeah.
But wintertime, normally you just got to keep rocking back and forth
Oh,
and just
damn.
hope for the best. And then we got Lake Lanier, we got Lake I live in Powder Springs, which is probably an hour away from almost all the
You said
lakes.
what state is in this?
It's in
What?
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
Yeah. So we got Lake Lanier is one of our, I think is one of our top lakes for spotted bass. Is actually probably the top lake in the South for
And is it deep?
yeah, Lake Lanier's deep. It's you can fish shallow at Lanier. A lot of guys out here what Lanier is pretty much famous for is ditch fishing. That's what
Ditch
that's
fishing.
that's what it's known for. Is ditch fishing, especially in the wintertime.
Hmm.
It's very good for ditches. So yeah,
What's water
that's
clarity?
it can be anything. It can like one time I think I went out there and it was like you didn't have a visibility of a foot.
Okay.
And then by the next day, dude, you had like 5 foot, almost 8 foot visibility by the next day of
Over at
muddy water.
Lanier?
Yes, same spot, same exact spot I caught them all at.
Shut up.
I'm being for real. It cleared up so bad. So we had a heavy rain
Yeah.
and the water clarity was like chocolate milk. That was like the best way to explain it. And then by the next day, the water clarity was at least like 4 to 5 foot visibility by the next day. It's a huge lake.
Damn,
It's
dude.
really big. It's a huge lake. So it doesn't really hold, it's not gonna hold muddy water 24/7, because it gets moved around a lot.
Wow. So a matter of a day, your water can turn chocolate milk. Like you'll
That
be in
is
5 foot, 10 foot visibility. Next day of the tournament, you're sitting in mud.
yeah, like Lanier is one of those lakes where it's so big. If we got heavy, heavy rain, you can go out to Main Lake and always find clear water.
Oh, okay.
You can find it somewhere on the lake. It's gonna be some clear water somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So it'll
So
be normally mid.
that's another thing when you say like did live scope ruin it all? You know, places like Lanier, it's not going to ruin it because it's so big, man. You could the thing about live scope is you can only cover so much water with
Yeah,
live scope. You know what I mean? Like most of the time you got to turn on your 2D and idle everywhere and dude, you can't idle whole Lake Lanier the whole
not
entire
with
day.
not with live scope going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Not even. I mean, you can't even go in a kayak. You can't cover the whole lake
no,
in one day.
it'll be impossible.
Yeah. Do you guys
You would
have
need,
carp over there?
yeah. We got we got a good bit of everything, except we're lacking smallmouth really bad.
Do you feel like is it easy for you to spot out a bass from like the population of carp or big crappie
Hmm.
and et cetera and catfish?
Yeah,
Like, can you tell me straight up, like, you pull up on like, let's say a big mark of catfish or really big crappie. You could tell me that's a crappie,
I can tell
that's a
you off the
catfish.
rip.
Really? I
I
feel
got
like I
my
haven't gone that good yet.
I got my graph dialed in pretty good, where I can you can kind of see the tails on them depending on how deep they are.
Yeah.
So like if I'm sitting in about 20 foot of water,
Mhm.
maybe 20 to 30 feet, I can tell you what it is. And
Oh, okay.
crappie in Georgia, the easiest way to figure them out is they stack on top of each other a lot.
Right, right,
So
right,
they'll
right.
all be like grouped together. It'll never be
That's true.
one. If you catch one single, it's very rare, but a lot of times you'll see them all together.
Yeah.
Um,
And they
Catfish,
and they're
they're
very still. They sit still, right?
yeah,
On the screen.
yeah, they don't move that much.
Yeah.
And then they'll be on brush piles and stuff like that, and they'll still be
Mhm.
on top of each other.
Yeah.
Catfish, a lot of times you'll see them on the bottom, and they're like they blow up on my graph a lot. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of the easy, and you can see the dorsal fin if they got their dorsal fin up, you can see
Mhm.
them. Like you can easily point that out.
Dude, I haven't spotted that out yet.
Okay, so did you ever see that post when I caught that 33-pound flathead?
No, I didn't see that post.
So I caught a 33-pound flathead on a spoon,
Yeah.
and he was in a brush pile, and I just knew it was a huge fish down there.
Mhm.
But when I dropped the spoon down there to him, it just automatically disappeared. And when I set the hook, I can see him fighting on my live scope, and I just knew it was a catfish automatically. You can tell by the tail and how he moved his body like that.
Oh, on
Just
your
the
live scope?
Yeah,
So
just
you
the
watch
fight.
your live scope during the fight too
No,
sometimes?
I normally don't
Yeah.
pay attention. He just happened to pop back up in that vicinity of the live.
Oh, wow, and you could make it out to
Yeah,
catfish.
I was like, "Oh, that's a catfish. I know it is." Plus, how he was like fighting.
Yeah,
I knew it was a
rolling.
cat. Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew it was a catfish.
Dude, that is 100% right about how they pop on your graph though. Like they glow.
Yeah.
Like they stick out like a sore thumb. Um and I get excited sometimes because I'm like, "Hey, is there a bass that glows that bright?" But usually they're big catfish. You're 100% right about that. I've caught so many big catfish over at Clear Lake. It's not even funny. And you're finding them all day. You're just like, get off or come up by now, but they keep on
Yeah.
digging and digging. Um, so how did you get in the sport of kayak bass fishing?
So it all started at Cabela's again. So what happened was I was at work and
Mhm.
I had a guy walk up to me and ask me have I ever kayak fished. It was a guy that I held a conversation with. We were just talking
Yeah.
about fishing. And he asked me have I ever kayak fished. And this is 3 years ago. And I was like, nah, I never got into it. And he was like, you should check it out. He gave me this like a group page on Facebook called Georgia Kayak Fishing Community.
Mhm.
So people just post, their kayaks or fish that they're catching in the kayak, or they'll post like stuff like, "Do y'all want to go out and fish with me?" Stuff like that. It's supposed to just be
Mhm.
like a big group of kayakers. Um, so I got in that. Uh, I started seeing people post about their kayaks and kayak fishing. I seen the first thing I seen. I'm gonna tell you, this is how inexperienced I was in kayaking. A guy had a Helix 12 with Mega
Mhm.
Live on, not Mega Live, Mega 360 on it, and he was crappie fishing. And in my head, well, no, I think he had a Helix 10. In my head, I was just like, that's too damn big of a graph. Is no way I'm gonna tie myself up in that much money to
Yeah.
just kayak fish. That was my mindset of it. I was like, I would rather get a bass boat.
Yeah.
And the guy, when I first joined the forum, I was still bank fishing. So I was just posting bank fishing photos in the
Yeah.
forum in a
Yeah.
kayak group. And everybody's like, dude, you need to get you a kayak. You need to get you a kayak. So I finally suckered up at Bass Pro and bought a kayak. It was
Mhm.
a Sin kayak. And the only reason I bought it, because we get what, like 50% off of a Sin.
Mhm.
So I started off with that kayak, fished at, ponds and stuff. People started liking the pictures. I started posting them on Instagram. And this is me trying to build, content and build
Yeah.
DJ the Bassmaster up, because I activated that page a long time ago, but never used it. So now I'm
Yeah.
posting on it in my Sin kayak, catching
Mhm.
fish in ponds. Anybody can do that, right?
Yeah.
If you get a kayak and you get the right pond that nobody pressures,
Mhm.
anybody can go out there. You can throw anything at them. So
Yeah.
I decided to fish Alatuna, which is a close local lake to the house that
Mhm.
a lot of guys fish. Fished it off the kayak the first time, caught 12 fish, just out there, just regularly fishing. Um,
No graph.
no. I think I had a graph on there. I had a
Oh, you
Helix
got a
5.
graph.
I had a
Oh,
Helix
okay.
5, but I didn't know how to use it. So
Okay.
basically no graph.
Water temp,
Yeah,
time,
no,
voltage.
didn't understand none of that at
Yeah.
all. And so I figured that out, started doing that, and then I get a hit from Crescent Kayaks,
Yeah.
and they offered me a kayak.
Oh, wait,
It
so
was a
back up a little bit. They
mhm,
hit you up. You
yeah,
never reached out to them?
mm-mm. They
That's
hit
dope.
me up because I wasn't gonna take kayak fishing, that far. I was just doing it for
Yeah.
fun.
Mhm.
So Crescent hit me up about a kayak. They was like, "Hey, we would like to see you in a Crescent." Uh, I don't know the reason why it all started, or how it all started, or why
Yeah.
they reached out. I never figured that part. I just never asked. I was just like, it's probably better if I shut my mouth anyway.
Yeah.
So I go out to the warehouse, and the owner of Crescent, James, he basically gave me like a $1,200 kayak for like $200.
Oh, really?
So
Damn. That's a
after
steal.
that, I started fishing with their kayak a lot. I liked it. I started rigging it. Got a Helix 8, a little bit bigger graph.
Mhm.
That's all I needed really. Started fishing like Lanier, my house. Just start traveling to different, places.
And this is your first year of kayak fishing?
Yeah, no tournaments. Didn't do tournaments off a kayak at all. And
Wow.
so like I started
That
like
just, I mean, that's my, I don't mean to like pause you, but
yeah,
that's mind blowing. And that goes my future podcast argument against Chris Cabral. Chris Cabral is my homie. He's my
yeah,
one of my sponsors, helps me rig kayaks and stuff. But that's besides the point. I'm trying to get him on a podcast, and I'm trying to argue if you don't have a social media and you're in kayak fishing, you're not getting the exposure that, or you're not going to be as relevant as if you had to establish social media presence already,
yeah,
fishing these tournaments or fishing out of a crescent kayak,
yeah.
like that, just to go show you how long have you been posting on social media before they gave you that deal?
Not that much. Not that much at all.
How
It
how
was it was before they came along, I probably posted 20 pics, and I was just trying to figure out, and I was figuring out how GoPro worked. So I had a GoPro camera too, and I was just trying to
Mhm.
figure that out. So it was like a mixture of being in a kayak, but still going walking like 3 miles back in the woods, maybe one day, and
Mhm.
bank fishing, and then going back to the kayak, and then just doing both, just
I
rotating it
see.
in until I strictly just kayak everything.
Yeah. Do they sell crescents over at your Bass Pro Shop or
No,
Cabela's?
no.
They
The
don't?
Bass Pro only endorse their brand, so they're not going to reach out to another. They do Old Town, I think. Bass
Oh,
Pro
okay.
sells Old Town, but they won't do Crescent.
So you're big. What do you why do you think they how do you think they found you?
I don't know.
Through
I
social
don't.
media?
They found me. It was all this started off of Instagram. They reached
Yeah.
out to me on Instagram, but I don't
Oh,
think I
okay.
ever followed them,
Yeah.
and I couldn't tell if they ever followed me, and I just don't know where it linked up. But
Yeah.
I think underneath the table stuff, like
Mhm.
a lot of guys that recognized me from the forum probably like was like, "Hey,
Get
you
this guy
guys
on
should
the team.
yeah, you guys should look at them." Or I just
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know how it went. So,
Well, I
uh,
mean, that's cool in itself that you have an ID card on IG. And if people want to really reach out to you and want you on their team, they know where to go.
yeah.
They know to go look up DJ the Bassmaster, and they'll DM you and they'll give you, your first $1,200 kayak.
Dude, the
You know.
crazy thing is that name was so I don't know how I even came up that name. I just had to put something together because I was like, I'm gonna start a fishing page,
Hmm.
and then I was just like, well, my initials is DJ, and I
Yeah.
only fish for bass, and I was just like, screw it, DJ the Bassmaster, and I just dropped it
Yeah.
after that, and then it just started getting catchy. So it's just like,
Yeah.
damn, I didn't think it was gonna go this far,
That's
but
the
it's
crazy thing. That is the crazy thing, is that
yeah,
we create some catchy names. My name is Double Digit Angler, but honestly, I gotta tell everybody on this podcast, I've never caught a double digit fish,
no, no,
right? But it sounded cool, right? And I just
yeah.
posted it up there and it caught on, and I was just like, well, shoot, I
Hey,
can't
it
give up that
works.
name anymore.
It works.
But if I was smart enough, I would have changed it right from the go, but I didn't know how deep I was gonna get into kayak fishing.
The only thing I can say is at least you're cashing checks.
Yeah, that's
You
that's nothing,
you
dude. You're gonna
you
cash
got
back.
you have cash checks though. I haven't I mean, I've seen the videos, the pictures. You're doing good.
Well, dude, let's put it this way. If I was smarter back in the day, I would have called it triple digit fishing. Because
Triple
we're
digit
we're
fishing.
always chasing 100 inches, right?
Yeah. Oh
We're
yeah.
always
Yeah, that
chasing
makes a
the
lot of sense.
exactly, you know what I'm saying? My style doesn't really suit double digit angler because I'm not chasing a double digit pounder. I'm chasing triple digits, like 100-inch mark. I don't think I've ever hit the 100-inch mark in one day.
Nah, I've hit 92.
My biggest probably 97.5. That was
Yeah.
the biggest.
That's probably where I'm probably gonna stop at. I don't think I'll get past that.
92? You have a
Well, no, 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 no,
largemouth,
no.
don't you?
I'll get past. I can see me getting past 92. I'm talking about like 100. That's a tough one.
You need to hang out with Damian Henderson. He's out in Georgia too. He
I
hangs
know
out
who.
with.
No, I know who that is.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever hang out with him or
He
no?
hangs out with Fluke Master, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I so it's crazy. I know who Damien is, and Damien know who I am. I just have yet to meet him. But it's crazy. We fish the same water all together.
No way.
So Fluke Master fishes. I don't even want to put his spot out there. I'm not gonna put it out there. I'm
Oh
not.
yeah, but that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You know the spot then.
yeah. I know the area. I know the place that he fishes. I just can't put it on blast. He fishes a
But
certain place. Damien fishes
yeah.
that place, and I fish that place too. But
But can you
everybody
say
in
it's
Georgia
100
knows.
inches?
Yeah. Everybody in Georgia knows about it. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people know about it in Georgia.
Don't mention it on this podcast, but you can get 100 there, couldn't you?
Yeah. If I
That's
fished
what.
it, if I fish it enough, I can pull
Yeah.
100 inches there. But
Yeah.
it's like an hour 30 drive, and I don't
Dude,
really.
that's nothing, man. An
No.
hour
I know,
30?
I
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
it's strictly largemouth. It's nothing but largemouth, and I love fishing for spots more than largemouth. So
Oh, okay.
I would rather go waste the hour 30 to go fight spots than fight largemouth.
Well, let's go into our next question, man.
What you got?
Dive deep. Dive real deep into your biggest spotted bass story. Tell me exactly how it played out. The
6'4".
day, the conditions. Dude, just don't give me 6'4", man.
No. I'm gonna give you the whole rundown.
Give me the whole bang, man.
So I fished, like I said, I fished one of the lakes, Lake Lanier, one of our best spotted bass fisheries in the South.
Uh,
Um, I haven't been to Lanier in a long time. I think I took a year off from going there because I was fishing closer to the house. So
yeah.
I was fishing one of the local lakes, Allatoona. Allatoona and Lanier are not that super far from each other, but Allatoona is known for having smaller fish, but you catch more numbers. Lanier is known for having bigger fish, but if you don't know where they set up, you might catch like two good ones, and then that might be it. Or you might catch a bunch of medium, good, okay size fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went to Lanier. I went to an area that one of the guys told me to check out,
Mhm.
and I never fished this end of the lake. And I went there after the rain, and it was like, you see how this wall looks right here?
Yeah.
That was the color of the water.
So it
First,
was muddy. It was like
yeah,
it was ugh.
it was
Yeah.
first day after like 3 days of straight heavy rain. And
Okay.
so I went there, fished this one ditch, literally the only ditch at the lake that I went to, first ditch, and I sat in that ditch the whole day and caught probably like 20 fish the first day. And then every fish I caught was like 3, 4, 3, 4, which is good size for spots down here.
Dude, that's huge.
Yeah, I was catching nothing but 3s and 4s, and I caught like 15 of them.
Damn.
So I caught a lot of them. And then the next day, I decided to go back to Lanier. And that's when I told you that when I went there and the lake was chocolate milk, it was like 5 to 6 foot visibility.
Wow, it
So
changed. That's
quick.
exactly what you were talking about. Yeah.
So it changed really quick. And same spot, started off early. First fish I get on, 4.2, first spot.
Damn.
And then I got it on. It was on my YouTube video. That was the first spot I caught. He was 4.2. I thought he was small because he was running at me, but the whole time he was just like, once he like started digging down, then I was like, oh yeah, he's huge. So that one was 4.2. I caught another one that was like 3 something. And so I had 2 buddies with me. One named Daniel. One name is the other one name is, how am I forgetting his name? Because we hang out 24/7. Okay, my mind just
It's just blanking because you
yeah.
blacked out because you're talking about the biggest spotted bass you've ever caught. You're blacking out right now.
Yeah. So
All right, keep on
oh,
going, man.
his other buddy's name Lane. That's his name,
Okay.
Lane. So we're all sitting in this one ditch. I bring them to the same ditch, and we're sitting there, and I'm just looking at my live, and I see the bottom. Like, like when you look at 2D and down imaging, if the fish are really glued to the bottom, you can't really see them that good. But when
Yeah,
you pull
especially
out,
on yeah.
yeah, but when you pull out live and you look at them on the bottom, you see those irregular looking humps on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see none of the fish on the bottom, but I could see this odd, like these three odd looking humps.
Yeah, it's like a
And
little hump, yeah.
yeah, and I dropped my spoon down to it, and dude, I hooked him. And this spot is like 3 pounds. And when I get him up, the whole bottom rises up. 20, like, I don't know if it was like 15 fish just rose up.
Yeah.
So I hurry up and burn this fish in. I get my other rod. Well, I tried to burn this fish in while grabbing my other rod to drop down,
Mhm.
and I ended up losing that fish. So I dropped right back down, hook another one, catch him, get him in the kayak, grab my Demiki rig, drop that down, hook another one, get him in the kayak. And I was about to grab the blade bait, but it was just too much.
Yeah.
So I catch those. Those are probably like I think it was two back-to-back 3 pounders. I
Mhm.
move over to a dock. I catch one right there at the dock. I go back to the dock like a few moments later, and then I hooked into one that I was like, oh, this is a big one. But I didn't
Mhm.
think he was like 6 pound big because they fight pretty hard. And
Yeah.
this spot is running with 4 pounders and 3 pounders. Like you said, you can catch a
Mhm.
big one swimming with other fish that are
Yeah.
smaller than it. So this
Yeah.
spot is running around with like 3 pound, 4 pound fish,
Mhm.
and get them up. And when I seen it come up, dude, it was just fat, like all around fat. Like I think
Yeah.
this fish was 20 20 and 3/4,
Wow.
20 inches and 3/4. And this fish was
6
like,
pounds.
yes,
Like
like
a
it was
football.
straight up fat.
Like a blown up football. Like
And
where the pigskin is spread out.
yeah, it was to the point where when I got the fish up to the surface, I knew it was 6 pounds automatically. Cause I sat
Wow.
there, I was like, oh, this is my biggest one. Cause I caught a 6 before,
Mhm.
but it was like a 6, but dancing on that 5 to
Yeah.
6, and the scale kept moving back and forth.
Yeah.
So I just went on and said 6.
Uh-huh.
But this one was 6'4", and time I'd seen her come up and I seen the belly and everything, I was like, yo, this is a 6 pounder. Pulled her up, and
Yeah.
everybody was just mind blown.
Yeah.
And when I put her on the scale, it automatically went straight to 6'4", and it
Damn.
jumped from 6'4" to 6'3", 6'4", 6'3", and then it finally stopped at 6'4". And then after that, dude, I was just shook the whole day. And then to make it even better, is that wasn't even the end of the day fishing. I ended the day catching like 20 more fish right after that.
Damn.
So I
Is
fished
it
only
always on this fire? Is it
no,
always this fire?
no, because I
Is
went back to
that one of those days you're just like that short window of the year. You're
yeah,
just like, dude, dude, it's unbelievable fishing right
right
now.
right time at the right place.
Damn.
So I went there
How many fish did you catch like right off in that section?
in that one spot. I caught in 2 days. In that one spot, I caught over 30
What?
in two
And now you're
days.
talking about a spot. You're talking about you're making the same exact cast.
hmm Same
You're not
spot,
moving.
same everything. No, not moving. I caught in
Oh
two
my
days. In two
gosh.
days, in that one spot, I caught over 30 fish. And then that one day when I caught the 6 pounder, I only moved to two different spots. So I fished that spot that I caught them in the last time, and then I went to a whole nother area where they just had shad pushed and trapped
Yeah.
all the way in the back of a creek.
Yeah.
And I just sat there, and I don't know why I let my friends talk me into leaving. I caught 40 fish that day, and none of them caught no, one of them caught one fish. None the other ones, they just couldn't catch any. I didn't understand why. We were all sitting in the same area, all throwing spoons, and I was the only one that can get them to bite.
Wow. And you
And I
caught
caught
40.
40, 1-0. I caught 40. The other dude zeroed, and then my other buddy caught one. And then they were so like angry with me, they was ready to leave. But if I didn't,
What?
yes, bro, if I
Yeah.
didn't leave, because we were supposed to leave at 3, but
Yeah.
if I didn't leave, I would have caught probably 20 more fish in that one cove because I left them biting. And then when I went back the next week, everything was just dead.
Damn.
Yeah. When I went back the next week, it went to back to reality. It went to like one fish a day.
Freak, dude. That's crazy. You're like, dude, those stories are far and few between, I feel like. Do you have multiple days like that of the year? Like, it's
If it,
not unheard of?
yeah, if
Really?
you can hit it at the right time, I've had days where I've gone out every year. I do get one of those days where I catch over 20 fish all in the school in one spot without
You're
even
talking
having to
about
move.
you're talking about at least once per year.
Yeah, and it's always in the wintertime.
So exactly what I'm saying is like it's only 1 or 2 days
Hmm.
out of the whole year.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
one. It's normally that one that yeah, about 1 or 2 days. And then the crazy thing is like if I do catch if that day happens again, it'll happen during spawn where you can just sit here and bed hop all
Yeah.
day. And in a kayak,
Yeah.
you can bed hop better than the bass boats because you can get back in
Yeah.
some water that they can't get back into.
Yeah, for sure. But man, I'm glad that you experienced that because I experienced that a few times, but at a specific cast and one area where you don't
Hmm.
even move the boat. Like I have spot lock. I've never moved the boat. I'm making casts from the same position and 22 fish in 2 hours.
That's crazy.
Like I never moved the freaking boat. Spot locked, same cast. Maybe I alter the cast, but I'm talking about like every other cast. And when it slowed down, it was like maybe every 3 or 4 casts, every 5 casts. But in those 2 hours, I calculated it up. It was already 22 fish for 2 hours, and I'm getting doubles too. So I'm throwing an A rig and I'll get doubles,
Now that's
right?
wow.
And I'm talking to this guy next to me. Shout out Justin. And I have my A rig, and literally while we're talking, I'm like, oh, got another one. Right. And we're still talking. And I shake and then I throw him off, cast again, and I'm still talking. I'm like, yeah, what's your personal best? Oh, got another one. It's that crazy. And I'm glad that you experienced that because it is one of those times like you could absolutely do nothing wrong. They're just so
Oh yeah.
stupid biting right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I need to hit you up during wintertime, Lake
Yeah.
Lanier, man.
It
Was that
it
Lanier?
definitely happens. Yeah, it's linear.
Damn. That's incredible, man. So tell me this. Okay. So we talked about your biggest spotted bass story. All right.
Hmm.
And I want to know, how do you specifically target like the biggest spot? Because we all know like
I
the
don't.
spots are going to be biting. You
I
don't
don't.
target them?
I don't target big spots at all. It just so with me, I'm so more about catching numbers. I'm
Okay.
That's all I'm about is catching numbers. And me and a buddy had an argument because he likes to throw bigger lures and he likes to catch size. I'm all
Mhm.
about numbers because I feel like in a tournament, you want 5 fish.
Mhm.
And if you start the tournament throwing big lures, you might get 3 good bites
Yeah.
or you might waylay on them, but it's not gonna be a consistent thing in a tournament where you're gonna throw big lures every time in a tournament and get 5 big bites. It's just not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So me and a buddy argued, and I'm just like, he said, "You never catch big fish." This was a time where I was on a streak of catching like 20 fish a day, but I was
Mhm.
catching like 12-inch squeakers, 14 inches, and then we had an argument, and I'm just like, dude, I'd rather catch numbers than catch big fish because big fish will present themselves in that number. Somewhere in that line, they're gonna eventually present themselves.
Oh yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
telling
I
him, I
believe
was
that.
like, if we had a kayak tournament, and I didn't want to seem cocky about it, but I was like, we had a kayak tournament, I would run laps around you anytime because you're gonna sit there and
Damn.
throw like he's throwing 8-inch swim baits. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, these lakes right here, you're not gonna sit here and throw a 8-inch swim bait and beat somebody that's gonna have a consistent 5 fish limit. It's just not gonna happen. You might win big fish in that tournament, but you're not gonna win that tournament.
That's true facts.
That's
If you're talking
that's just
about tournament fishing.
that's just how I fish. I fish even
Yeah.
my free fishing when I just go out there and just have fun fishing. I fish like fun fishing. I keep it at a tournament perspective. I want to catch the most numbers I can catch, plus content too. But I want
Yeah.
to catch the most fish I can catch, like I would do in a tournament.
That kind of puts you in contention at all times. It's practice.
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
like
you want to go through a tournament and you need to catch 5, but you need a coal. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
eh,
you can't catch one big fish and show up to a tournament and win it with one big fish. Like,
like
yeah.
I'm the kind of guy that if I fish a tournament, pretty much I'm gonna want 5 fish every time because it keeps you in contention with Angler of the Year at all times.
Oh yeah.
At all times. If you can show that you can get 5 every time, which you're gonna have your hammers out there that can also get 5 every time. Because a lot of guys are gonna figure, if you're really good with figuring how bass move and how they do this, you can go to any lake and figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a hammer in SoCal, or we have a hammer in California. His name's Damien Tao.
Yeah,
I don't know if you heard of him, but he'll show up to a lake that he's never been and he'll win Angler of the Year, with the toughest hammers out there. He'll go to any lake out here in the West Coast and he's a
yeah.
threat at all times. He won 3 TOCs.
That's crazy. And see that the
Yeah.
thing about me fishing in Georgia, I don't just bound myself to Georgia. I jump from a lot of times I was fishing Alabama. I did a little bit of Tennessee, North
Mhm.
Carolina, fished in Florida, South Carolina. So I'm one of those guys who loves fishing new water. I love it
Yeah.
because it's no better feeling than going out to new water and catching a fish on a body of water you never been on. It just
Dude,
makes you feel like you know what you're actually doing at for you know what I mean?
amen to that. Yeah. I showed
So
up like give me an example of that because I have an example for you. Like,
So I run this little trail with these guys, AKFL. They are
mhm.
like they're like how do you say it? Meet up at the ramp. They run a season, but they're like a meet up at the ramp and do a captain's meeting, give you the
Yeah.
identifier, go fish.
Mhm.
And so I run their little trail and we went to not a lake called Lake Notley. Never fished it. I could have went and pre-fished it because I had plenty of time on my hands. I
Yeah.
just didn't want to make the 2 hour drive to go fish it. I was like, screw it. It's a spotted bass fishery. If they got rocks, I looked at Google Maps and everything. I was like, if they
Mhm.
got rocks and they got this stuff right here that I like to fish at any other lake, this is the pattern that I'm gonna run because they're gonna move the same way that they're gonna move in any other lake.
Yeah.
And we got blueback herring here, so all they're gonna do is follow the bait. Wherever they can find the bait at, they're gonna be there.
Yep.
And literally the first 5 minutes of luncheon, I caught 2 fish off the bat.
Wow.
And I missed a 4 pounder at the kayak because my reel decided to, I guess the braking on it screwed up.
Mhm.
It something happened where the reel started reversing backwards, and it was a bait caster, and it started reversing backwards.
Did you
So,
have it half clicked?
mm-mm.
Sometimes, like, no? Okay.
Well, the water was cold. It was 20 degrees, and everything kind of froze over. So I don't know if it slipped in the inside
Oh,
because of that.
I see. Okay.
So I missed that fish, but I ended up winning that lake with 3 fish. But I had a total of like 20 bites because I got on the school, but I just kept dropping them off every time
I see.
because it
So
was a
you
day out.
won.
Yeah, I won with 3 fish on a new lake, never been to. And then I won another tournament with 88 inches at this lake called Chateau, never been to it. And I won that tournament with like I think a 5 pound or yeah, it was like a 5 or 6 pound largemouth. I had a 4 pound spot, and everything else is threes all the way down.
What drives you to keep on fishing these? What drives you?
Which ones like just like different bodies of water?
No, like tournament
Or
fishing. What drives
well,
you?
that was my first year of tournament fishing.
Yeah. How
Last
do you
year was
feel after that?
uh
Last year was your first year?
yeah, last year was my first year.
How do you feel about tournament fishing?
Uh it was cool. It wasn't like it's still tournament fishing, but the guys that I fish with, it was more like a club thing more than a big tournament because we didn't get a lot of numbers in it. So it wasn't like I was fishing like huge tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I'm taking it up a notch, fishing Georgia Bass Nation with them and seeing what I can do in there.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of the
So,
guys that fish it, and it's
yeah.
just I want to be more competitive this year, but also have fun because I'm fishing with a lot of guys that I like to fish with. A lot of people
Last
that
year
I
you
reach out
fished
with.
with a lot of the guys that you liked fishing with.
Oh yeah, yeah, I love the group and there were new people. Some of the guys I knew, but a lot of them were just new, and I fished with them,
Yeah.
and they're great guys. So I'm continuing fishing with them, like if I can jump in because they run their tournaments on Sundays, and not
Mm-hmm.
too many tournaments go on Sundays. Every major tournament is normally on a Saturday, unless it's a
Yeah.
2 day. So yeah,
Damn.
they
So you had a good season last year. It was more of a club level season for you, and you had a
yeah
great time. That's all that matters, man. You know what I mean? And if you got Crescent reaching out to you, and you're not even like KBF, Hobie BOS, et cetera, right?
yeah
Dude, you're on the right path. You know what I mean? Like you're getting good sponsors. You're meeting up with the right kind of people. Seems like you're having fun. I
oh
think that's
yeah
the most important part of fishing is just remember to have fun in all of the ups and downs of tournament fishing. But I'm gonna look forward to what you have planned for 2023. So you said 2023 you're gonna be joining Georgia Bass Nation.
yeah. And the goal for that, so I think Georgia Bass Nation, you can qualify if you do really good. I think if you place like top 11 in the championship tournament, which you gotta do good throughout the season to even qualify for championship.
Yeah.
So if you qualify championship and place top 11,
Hmm.
you get entered into the kayak Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's the case. For
Yeah.
California, it's 5, but Georgia might be bigger, might be
Yeah, I
top
think I
11.
think I think ours was 11.
Dude, you have a good shot, man.
So I was sitting there. That's the goal for next year. Well, this year. What is it this Yeah, this year. Going into next year.
What advice I have for you though, man, is don't count your points.
Oh, yeah.
Don't count
Yeah.
your points towards making that a goal, Don't count your just go have fun, man. Just go fish hard.
Yeah.
That's all you could do. Don't count the points because that won't play with your head at all. Once
Yeah.
you start counting the points, you're thinking about, okay, I just need to sneak in this way. I just need to catch 5 this way, blah, blah, blah. But if you feel like if you just grow in with a clear mind and regardless the points or not, wherever you're sitting, just go fish with a clear mind because that way it doesn't alter your mentality of fishing because you're on a roll right now from last season, right?
Yeah.
So going into this season, if you have a clear mind and you still keep on having that confidence of, hey, I'm going to find these spots, it's just a matter of submitting these fish, man, you're going to do great. You're going to do
Yeah.
great.
That
And
one's good.
I hope we're back on this podcast and we're talking about you qualifying for the classic, and believe it. You will do it if you keep on believing and fishing hard
Yeah.
and staying innovative. For you to hop on Mega Live to stay in contention with qualifying for the classic, man, like you're already one step closer because you're keeping yourself in contention because a lot of times you can't compete without forward facing sonar.
That is definitely true.
Especially with spotted bass. From what I've heard with Matthew Brand, so I'm not a big spotted bass fisherman,
Hmm.
especially in SoCal. We don't have a lot of spotted bass in SoCal. But once you get to northern region of California, you get more spotted bass. And you've lived in California. We talked about it. You'll find them at Orville and McClure and et cetera, which are
Yeah.
northern region fisheries. But I heard spotted bass, man, you have to have live because you got to chase them down.
They move a lot.
Yeah.
They move a lot. Or you can find them if you find them on brush piles, that is easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, I love you on the podcast, man. I feel like our conversation was so natural that I didn't even have to ask too many questions off my list because you hit all the spots on the way. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
didn't even have to ask him. You already hit those answers, so I'm just like, dude, I don't even need to ask any questions. But do you want to give any shout outs to any of your sponsors?
Yeah. Shout out to Crescent, Westbrook Supply Co., Z
Yeah.
Pro.
Hey, wait, before you guys tune out, I want you guys to stay on, all the guests, and ask your questions because I'm going to spotlight you guys in the comment section. Put your name on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and rephrase the question. So don't go away. Go ahead again. Sorry about that. You
Oh yeah,
you
you
said
good.
Crescent.
Crescent, Z Pro,
Yeah.
Westbrook, Venom Lures, 6 Gill,
Oh, sick, dude.
and I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So what are you running before we head out?
Oh,
What
and
are
Spirit
you
Point.
running? What are you running for your Mega Live? What battery?
Oh, it's a Z Pro. It's a 12 volt, 30 amp hour battery.
For both?
No, just for the Mega
Oh
Live
wait,
by
they
itself.
don't even have a black box.
And
You just
veterans kayak fishing. I almost forgot that one.
Veterans Sky.
I just joined that one,
Did
but
you
they're
see the
really good.
comment?
Yeah,
Clay Ragsdale said, "Don't forget VKF."
I can't forget VKF. I can't forget VKF.
He held you to it,
I
man.
can't forget VKF. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Ragsdale.
One of our guests, Clay Ragsdale,
That's a
said,
good
"Don't
guy right there.
forget VKF, Veterans Kayak Fishing, man."
Yeah, that's a good guy right there.
So you have 130 amp hour battery. That's it.
No, I got 2.
And you're running 230 amp hour batteries for your Mega Live and your
And
unit.
one for the unit.
So your Mega Live transducer, you need to power that up with a separate battery.
I honestly don't think it drains that much, if I had to be honest with you, because I've been able to run both batteries 3 days straight without charge.
No way. It doesn't draw that much then.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
So Mega Live doesn't have a black box.
Yeah. So
And
what are you hooking up to those 30 amp hours then?
it's just like it plugs in the back of the Hummingbird, and then it
Yeah.
has the power connectors, and then that's what
The transducer does, or the unit only has the power?
the transducer.
Oh, so you have 2 cables coming out of the transducer.
Mm-hmm.
One goes to the power, one goes to the back
To
of the
the ground. Well, yeah, to the power, and
one
then to the
unit.
yeah.
And then so you have a 30 amp hour powering separate for the unit, 30 amp hour separate for the transducer.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And you said 3 days, dude?
It's normally been about 3 days. I can go 3 days without charging it.
Not 3 full days.
No. I don't think I can go 2 full days. I don't think 3 full days.
Oh, okay. So you're
2
talking
full.
about 8-hour day, 9-hour day.
Two 8-hour days. I've done that. 3 8-hour
Yeah.
days. I normally done like maybe like a 4-hour, 5-hour day after that.
Okay, got it. No issues, huh?
No.
Damn, dude. Z Pro, dude.
They're
I'm
coming
pitching it
up.
hard.
They're coming up pretty fast.
They are. They have a lot of anglers, a great team.
Yeah.
Yeah, just super friendly, super supportive.
Yeah, and Michael, he reaches out to me a lot.
Oh, for feedback?
For him to have that many anglers, dude.
Yeah.
And be able to reach out to a good bit of them, that's kind of amazing. That's a lot of time that you have to take to actually,
Yeah, because he's in the background, dude, doing all the production work and all the hiring and building up these batteries and coming up with the right components for the batteries. Like he's doing a lot of it, overseeing a lot.
So that's why it kind of amazes me that he's like, when he reaches out to me, I'm just like, did he text the right person? Or
yeah,
you know,
that's cool, man. That's real cool. He has that close connection with the people that he works with. So let's get to the questions. Let's show some love for the people that joined. Let me see if we do have any questions. Can you see the questions from your angle,
Yeah.
like the comment section?
Mhm.
What are you buying from Cabela's tomorrow? That's what Tyler Bean asked.
Last day. It ain't really that much I need. If I think the most I'll get from Cabela's tomorrow is like maybe some fishing line.
Yeah.
That's probably the most I'll get. I'm not one of those guys where it's like last day. I'ma just go all out and buy whatever I can. Plus, wait, here's the kicker to it. My girlfriend works at Cabela's.
Oh, that's dope. Sick,
So
dude.
when I leave, I mean, technically, I still,
Well, don't say it. Don't say it on here. They might track you down.
Yeah.
You want to keep that deal going as long as you can. Before you go, kind of give my viewers, audience, and perhaps, well, I want to give a shout out to you first. Everybody, Dashawn Johnson opened up a YouTube account. So go follow him if you haven't already. Support him, please. If you haven't supported him already. I'm guessing like half of these viewers are guys I know, and then half of them you personally know, Dashawn.
Yeah.
But if you don't support him already, follow his IG and his YouTube. And by no means you're gonna get a lot of followers. You know how the game works.
Yeah.
It's more about consistently posting than name shout outs. But one follower, that just means extra support for Dashawn. So give him a follow. Do you have any advice about what to get, whether it's at Bass Pro Shop or Tackle Warehouse or Fish USA? What lures should you buy to put you on the most spotted bass ever in your life?
Drop shot.
Drop shot? Really?
Drop shot.
That's your go-to? But you've been fishing that spoon.
No. My go-to is a spoon, but I just started that. So right now,
Yeah.
when you get into a new lure that you kind of,
Yeah.
are catching fish on at the moment, you can't put it down. But
Yeah.
once all this dies down and cools, I'll go back to a drop shot. The
What'd you
drop shot was got all of this started.
What did you catch that 6.4
Oh, on a spoon.
On a spoon?
Yeah, on a spoon.
What exact spoon should people be buying?
War Eagles.
War Eagles?
I like the Cotton Cordels, but War Eagles have the better hooks. So I normally stick with War Eagles.
You know what's great about this podcast for our listeners is that we are straight up telling you the truth and we're giving you the juice. Yeah. Dashawn just caught the DJ, the Bassmaster just caught 6.4 this past year on the spoon. And what you said, War Eagle?
Yeah, War Eagle spoon.
What's your go-to like weight for that one?
1/2 ounce. That's normally where I'll stick to, because it's not too heavy and it's not too big, and it looks like the bait fish that I'm normally seeing that they're spitting up are not that big at all. Like 3-inch bait,
Yeah.
3.5-inch bait fish, close to 4 inches. So I don't want to do anything that looks irregular.
Did you just go basic and do gold and nickel?
No, I went straight silver.
Okay.
I don't think I even own a gold one.
Okay. So you're basic. You keep it simple. You're a basic batch.
Yeah, I think that's old school.
Yeah. I like that, man. Just keeping it basic. Good old silver, man. They like that flash.
PB largemouth is a 8. Oh shit! I just called
Max Lee asked a question. What's your PB largemouth? What is it?
PB largemouth is 8.9, and I just broke that like 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
8.9.
I think I saw that picture. I
was just playing around out on a kayak. I wasn't even actually trying to. I didn't even think I was going to catch a fish that day, to be honest.
You just rolled up like, hey, I'm just out on the water, just having a good time.
No,
and then
the funny thing was, it was 15 minutes into me just playing out on the water. I was just launching, and 15 minutes, I caught an 8-pound largemouth on a spinnerbait, And time I caught them, I took the pictures, called my friend, FaceTimed them, showed him the fish, instantly started shaking, and I left. I didn't even fish no more the rest of the day. I just left.
Dude, it's man, it is the best feeling. Tell me, is it not the best feeling in the world when you catch a fish over 8 pounds?
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure.
like that's a fish of a lifetime, man. I don't care what anybody says, but
Tyler had
gosh,
another
oh my
question.
gosh, that's that big one that you had. Check out his Instagram, guys. It's that big one, that the most recent post that you put up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Damn, the
So
way it was built, dude.
Tyler, I use mono more than fluoro. I use probably I think it's 12-pound fluorocarbon, not fluorocarbon, 12-pound mono, and it's strand. I don't know. I like strand for some reason.
Tyler Bean asks, "What do you use for line?" And you use 12-pound mono. You said
Yeah,
Shred
12-pound mono because it stretches a little bit, give them a little bit of give. So
for every bait.
no. I use fluorocarbon on all fluorocarbon leaders on all my spinning reel. So every spinning reel I got has braid to fluoro. Every last one of them.
So what do you use for 12-pound? The spoon.
Yeah.
So you give him that stretch.
Yeah, I give him that stretch. And then
Cool.
DK, what was his question?
Or you talking about Max Lee?
Yeah. So the drop shot, I normally throw it's I'm giving this one up. It's it's a flat nose minnow.
Flat nose minnow. What is
A
that? Is
Bert
that
a
the drop
Berk
shot bait? Oh,
yeah.
Berkeley.
It's a Berkeley flat nose minnow. It's almost like the flatworm, but it's in a fluke body. So
Oh,
it's a
okay.
Berkeley flat nose minnow, and I use the other one. What's that one by KVD? It's two of them. The half shell. I use
Oh.
the half shell,
Uh-huh.
the drop shot half shell, and I use the other one that is like a little bit longer than that. I can't remember what the other one is, but it's
You're
only two
not
drop
talking
shot
about
baits.
worm. You're not talking about worm, are you?
No. It's a drop shot. So the half shell is a drop shot bait. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a dream shot. That's the
The
other one, the
dream
dream
shot.
shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the dream
I
shot.
use
Yeah.
that a lot.
It's like a flatworm.
Yeah. That's the best way to put it.
Okay, cool. I think we're good, man. Thanks for hopping on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna have to have you on more often. I definitely want to, for our next podcast, I want to know where you rank all the anglers in Georgia. Like, in terms, like, and who do they relate to more? Since you're a basketball guy, you follow NBA right now.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot.
So I want you to kind of give me, like, who's the LeBron James of kayak fishing in Georgia?
You're gonna make a
Who
lot of people mad at me.
who cares, man? This is entertainment, right? So, like, and then I want you to know, like, who's the Chris Paul of kayak fishing, that never won a ring.
That gets pretty
And
close.
who's Steph Curry, who just seems to, like,
Never miss.
never miss. Is
I
that you,
know.
Dashawn?
No. I know somebody who never misses.
Yeah. So sneak peek to the next episode with Dashawn. So the next time he's on, we're going to be talking about Georgia kayak fishermen, kayak anglers, bass anglers, how they relate to the NBA players, and then how they rank in the state. Because I'm not familiar with Georgia, but you got
Yeah.
some heavy hitters over there
You
that
got
you need
some
to talk about.
actually Tyler Bean, and that guy Clay Ragsdale.
Uh-huh.
That's one in my rankings.
Really?
That is one in my rankings.
One of them might be a Luca.
Tyler's really good and Clay is really good.
Okay.
Those are two guys from the jump. I known them from a long time. Watched them from behind scenes. They don't even know that I used to watch them, but I watched both of them in the standings a lot.
And
Those guys
you're just not
no.
kissing ass right now. You're just straight up. You're
No,
like, these
Clay.
guys are sticks.
I told Clay that from his last season, from when I watched the Georgia Bass Nation, and he was like top 5 or top 10.
Damn.
So he did really good. Tyler just came off of a really good tournament for the KBF down in what was it?
Polk
Florida.
County?
Yeah.
Wait,
He was
where
fishing.
he ended up at? Tyler Bean.
Tyler, where did you end up at? I know you're watching this. You placed a little bit out of top 10, right? And there's a lot of anglers in there. It's like 105, I think.
You're talking about KBF Polk County?
Yeah, I think that where it was the one where they did the 2-day.
He finished
13th.
13th.
So that's a
not
lot. They
bad
had
at all.
105 anglers in there to finish 13th is
Yeah, that's good, dude. Top 15. That's awesome. 33 day 2. Oh, there's no more pro series.
yeah.
I don't know why they got rid of it. They should have just kept it. Oh, they do have it. It's called something else. It's called the overall. And where did he finish overall? He finished 22nd overall. That's
Yeah.
not
Oh,
bad.
yeah,
Out
that's
of 65, that's not bad at all. But in one of the days, he finished trail 1 for Tyler Beam. He finished 13th, he says. Yep.
yeah.
With 88.25. So I mean that just goes to tell you like what we were talking about before, that you have to stay in contention. You have to catch your 5.
Yeah.
Right. So day 1, he put himself in contention with 88.25. He was 13th, and he was on his way to almost break into on day 2. Overall wise, he was putting himself in contention for top 10. Good contention. Yeah, that's awesome. You might have to have Tyler Beam on next time. Not Beam, Bean.
Yeah.
Tyler Bean. Follow me on IG, Tyler Bean, and we're gonna go over, how you catch them Florida bass. But he looks like he fishes. He fishes out of a crescent too, huh?
Yeah.
I can see that. Drew Gregory, I see he's fishing out of a crescent, of course, right? His shoalie.
Yeah.
Who else fishing out of a crescent that made the top 10 or
Mm,
top 15? Wait, oh no, that's not him. This is day 2. Let's see. Trail 1, day 1 on Polk County. Russ Snyder's, is he fishing out of a wilderness systems?
I don't know what Russ fishes out of. I think he had like a Helix 5 or 7 on there too.
Helix 5 or 7, you said?
Yeah, because I seen the graph in the background.
Where's Tyler's thing? Bonafide Wilderness, PA 14, Old Town.
Yeah.
I don't see that many. Tyler Bean has a crescent. Does he have the shoalie as well, or what does he have?
Yeah, he has the shoalie.
I see at least a couple crescent kayaks in the top 15. At least one. And then I see New Canoe, Bonafide, and then Hobie. And then maybe a couple Old Towns. There's a couple Old Towns here and there. Yeah. 2 or 3. But yeah, man, thanks a lot for having, it was my pleasure having you on the podcast, and hope to have you soon, man. We need to stay in contact. Always be a fan. I'm going to be liking all your posts from now on, and I can't wait for your YouTube channel, man.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, bro.
Keep on posting those shorts, man, because people are going to start following you on YouTube as well.
Oh yeah.
All right, bud. I'm going to let you go. It's good times, man. I'm going to end the broadcast here. Don't forget to rate Double Digit Angler Podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yes, sir.
Peace.